I have been a fan of Xbox since I was a kid. Yes, I had the first brick, the very first Xbox, and I was stoked to get it. It was a game changer for me. I could watch DVDs, I could play my CDs, I could do it all. And I stuck with Xbox ever since. Generation after generation, console after console, device after device. If they had it, I got it. But in this day and age, Xbox just isn't the same anymore. As we continue to get a slew of new games coming out on the regular, Xbox is trying to break down the walls in gaming. But in doing so, I feel like its own fans are getting alienated in the process. So that's what I'm gonna cover in this video. Pretty much why I feel that the current state of Xbox and Game Pass just isn't worth it anymore. I could have easily sat here and just made a simple video that said Xbox is trash just to rage bait and get clicks. But I wanna look at this from the viewpoint of somebody that's been in the Xbox ecosystem since the beginning. And just look at where we started to where we are now. So if that sounds reasonable to you, stick around and enjoy the ride. At the very start of the console wars, it was all about exclusives. You could get Halo over here, you can get God of War over there, you can get Gran Turismo over here, you get Forza over there. There was a level of loyalty, like a sense of ownership that you had from being a part of one ecosystem or the other. And what it caused was a friendly and not so friendly rivalry. Sort of like the Marvel and DC of the gaming space, PlayStation and all of its offerings appeal to a specific type of gamer, and Xbox did the same as well, which means you sort of chose which ecosystem best fits you specifically as a gamer, almost as if it was tailor-made. It was what you liked and most likely where all of your friends were. Xbox wasn't just a system to me. It was tied deeply to everything that I held dear. Me and my brothers playing Halo until the crack of dawn. There were memories tied to Xbox. Back when games had the ability to sell out at GameStop, it was a treat to get a midnight release. It felt like an accomplishment to get a new game. But as the years went on and things got more digital, that feeling started to fade. It went from being something that you would hand pick yourself for your leisure time and a really nice escape to a smorgasbord of stuff that maybe you would touch, maybe you won't, but with Game Pass being a better deal than spending $80 on a single game, it seems like the logical and cost-effective choice. Now on the surface level, Game Pass seems like an amazing deal. You get access to a library of hundreds of games for just a couple bucks. But soon that couple bucks became a couple more bucks. And then that couple bucks became more than Netflix itself. And when that happened, I had to really step back and take a look at this thing and really ask myself, what am I getting here? Now, when I first used to scroll down my Xbox Game Pass library, I used to say to myself, man, there's a lot of stuff here. I'm going to play all of this. Realistically, I wasn't, but I just felt like I was. Never really paying attention to what it was that I had there, but just knowing that I had all the stuff that I had access to and I could play it. But some years went by and I never realized that I never played any of those games in Game Pass. Not to say that they were bad games or anything like that, but mainly because it wasn't tailored to me. It wasn't handpicked. It was actually curated based on whatever Xbox had or could get access to. Like I would never go to Game Pass to find something new and exciting to play because typically it's filled with older games that had came out already. Things that I knew about, but I never really bothered to buy because it didn't interest me enough to warrant me paying for it. So yeah, it was there and I could try it, but that doesn't mean that I would enjoy it or actually want to continue playing it. And one could argue like, yeah, you're getting it at a discount and you're not really paying full price for it, so you're not losing anything. But at the end of the day, if it's not something I'm going to be actively playing and it's just sitting there in a library to fill up space, then I'm not gaining anything either, which in turn means there's actually less value in me having it. And it wasn't until I really started to desire that variety that I started to see the walls that existed. I never played God of War, but when the latest entry came out, I wanted to. But then I realized that I had to buy a PlayStation. Either that or I had to buy a PC. When the Spider-Man game came out, I realized that I had to buy a PlayStation. Either that or I had to buy a PC. Then I started to wonder to myself, how come Xbox never gets any of the cool games? It got to a point where even games that weren't made by PlayStation themselves, but in the back of my mind, I would think this is probably going to end up on PlayStation and PC, and Xbox isn't going to get it until about a year later. And that's typically the case. So I decided to remedy my problem. I went and bought myself a PC. It ran me a little over $2,000, so I probably spent way more than I needed to if you ask someone that makes PCs. But as a casual console gamer who's really intimidated by trying to make a PC, it seemed like the best and most viable option. And I remember booting it up for the first time, looking at my nice monitor and hating every second of it. I despise sitting at my desk playing video games. For me, growing up playing on the couch, playing at the desk was terrible and still is to this day. But as an Xbox fan, that was my only remedy to my problem. Xbox barely got any of the cool games that I seen out there. But then now moving to PC, I started to encounter another problem. Not every game that I bought on my Xbox console experience was available on my Xbox PC experience, which means I would have to buy the games again, or I would have to resort to other alternatives like using cloud gaming to experience the game. I never really understood that, to be honest with you, and it was something that was really pushing me towards my breaking point. So the addition of Xbox Play Anywhere was something that was welcomed by me for sure, even though still only select titles are actually Xbox Play Anywhere, but I'll take what I can get. But the problem was I still didn't want to play on my PC ever. And as that next generation comes around where PC and console tends to merge, I feel like Xbox is even now moving further and further away from their fan base. Instead of trying their best to acquire new and interesting games, they want to bring along the next generation, where they say we don't have to make anything. You can just play what's out there, but just use our newest device. It's going to cost you $1,000 plus. You don't have to worry about our games being exclusive. You don't have to worry about things being gated. You can experience new and interesting games from everywhere and from us occasionally, but you can get them from everywhere else and use our hardware to do it. And this really devalues the hardware in my opinion, because if I can get my games and my entertainment from every other place and you occasionally, why not just get my hardware from somewhere else, as opposed to getting a more expensive Xbox just because it has an Xbox logo on it? Unfortunately, the Xbox logo just isn't enough. The nostalgia of what Xbox used to mean to me is not enough to justify the premium price. I opted into buying the Series S over the Series X when that new Xbox came out, for the simple fact that I'm a grown man now. I have children, I have bills, I have responsibilities. And we can add that to the fact that a lot of the next gen games these days don't look next gen at all. A lot of them look the same as last gen, and I expect the same for the next generation as well. And I find it really disappointing that a lot of the visually stunning games that I've played on Xbox, a lot of them, not all, but a lot of them, they came from PlayStation. Black Myth Wukong, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Death Stranding, just to name a few. Amazingly detailed games, beautiful games, originating from a platform that is not Xbox, well and far beyond the time of their initial releases. So with all of that, I'm having a hard time justifying staying in the Xbox ecosystem. Why should I stay in the ecosystem just to play second fiddle to every other platform out there? Why do I have to wait a year later for something new and interesting made by a new and ambitious studio out there, because it's just not going to come to Xbox first? Why should I have to buy a quote-unquote premium machine to be able to experience things on Steam when I should be experiencing new and interesting games on the Xbox ecosystem itself? It's not news that Xbox seems to want to go third party these days, but where does that leave the fans of Xbox? Where does that leave those who have been in the ecosystem since the beginning? Those who still believe in the platform, those who want new things. Xbox is banking on the idea that all of us longtime fans are so tied to our library, so tied to the games that we had all over these years. But I don't think it's that cut and dry. I'm not tied to the old games. My library now consists of a bunch of games tailored and curated by Xbox. Not games that I picked, but games that Xbox feels would best serve me based on the amount I pay per month. But the truth of the matter is, the games that I did find interest in, the ones that I wanted to own, the studios that I wanted to support, the things that I wanted to dive into, I bought them. I paid full price for them, because I felt like they were worth it. And it seems that all of the Game Pass offerings seems to just fluff up that library, make it feel as if I'm getting more, that I have more, even though it's games that I may or may not touch ever. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I love Xbox and I'm passionate about the ecosystem, but the direction that it's headed in seems like it's something that's going further and further away from what it used to be. Everything is not designed to stay the same, and I get that. And I do think that it's my responsibility to seek out ways to enjoy gaming. And in the meantime, I guess I'll just wait until something emerges, till something comes around that allows me to experience gaming on my own terms. That said, let me know in the comments, how do you feel about Xbox? Are you still a part of the ecosystem? Are you still a Game Pass member? Let me know. Whatever it is, I'm always down to have conversations with you all. And if you like what we do here, consider liking and subscribing. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.